All right, taking a look here at today's lesson here, we're going to continue to take a look at linear independence. This is part of a video series. If you want to see the rest of them, just check out the playlist here. In this first example here, we're looking at the set P3. So this is the set of all polynomials having degree at most 3. And we're taking a look at a subset of that set defined as follows. And what we want to decide is this set linearly independent or not. So to start us off here, we're going to remind ourselves that a basis for the set P3 consists of the vectors 1, x, x squared, and x cubed. So therefore, if we take our set S and write it with respect to this basis here, B, our matrix would look as follows. And again, how I got this matrix here is by copying the coefficients out in front, right? 1 times my first vector, this will be half, and then 1 times this vector, there is no x cubed, so I have a 0 in that spot. Then this combination here represents this vector here, right? A third times your first vector, a sixth times your second vector, a third times x squared, and there is no x cubed, hence the 0. And we continue on in that fashion. So I have my set here S now written with respect to my basis vector. So I want to row reduce this, and if it's linearly independent or not linearly independent, so dependent, we're going to see that as in the row reduction. So what we want to do here first is I don't have to deal with a fraction. So right away I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the first row and I'm going to multiply that by 3. I'll take the second row, multiply by 6, the third row, multiply by 3, and the fourth row I'll leave unchanged. When I do that here, tripling the first row, I'm going to get 3, 1, 0, 2. Multiplying by 6 in the second row, I'm going to get 3, 1, negative 6, and 2. Tripling the third row, I get 3, 1, 0, 2. And going ahead and leaving that last row unchanged, here we are. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and reduce this. So I want to make, looking to solve this in row reduce, so I want to make these entries 0. So I'm going to take row 2 minus row 1, row 3 minus row 1. Doing so, I end up getting here 3, 1, 0, 2. Subtracting this, I get 0, 0, negative 6, 0. And this ends up being the exact same row. So this is zeros all the way down, and this one is unchanged. So continuing on here, I can quickly go ahead and take negative 1/6 row 2, and I get 3, 1, 0, 2, 0, 0, 1, 0. I'm going to interchange. I'm going to also take row 3 and interchange that with row 4. So 0, 0, 1, 0, and then I have my 0 row. Continuing on here, right away I can see I have 2 rows the same. So if I take any sort of row reduction, row 3 minus row 1, I'm going to end up eliminating this. So my reduced matrix, I'm going to end up having 2 rows of zeros here. Okay, so right away, as I row reduce here, I have multiple 0 rows. So right away, I know that this is a linearly dependent set itself. So what I mean by that is these 1, 2, 3, 4 elements inside of the set S here are not independent of one another. So there is a combination where one can be written as multiple combinations of the others. So let's take a look here and see if we can find what those combinations would be. So if you want to delve deeper into this and you want to find what combinations, what's the connection between these variables, we can solve the following system here. If I go to solve the following system, if I go to express this with our algebra here, this would be 3c1 plus c2 plus 2c4 is 0, and I have c3 is 0, solving this. So right away, I mean, even just taking a look at this here, you can see that I'm going to have to introduce 2 sort of free variables here. So my first free variable is c4. I'm going to let that be any real number. C3 we know is 0. C2, I'm going to have to introduce another variable. This will be S. It can be any parameter. So putting this together here and solving for C1, I end up getting that 3C1 is going to equal negative 2C4 minus C2, which means that C1 in this case, is going to be minus 2t minus s and divide by 3. And I'm getting this here. So now I have sort of a combination between these here. I know that C4 can be anything, C2 can be anything, C3 has to be 0, and C1 is a combination of these t and s parameters. So if I want to find like an example, because it is dependent, there's infinite combinations here we can choose. If I were to go ahead, let's say I'm going to let C4 equal C2 equal 1 in this case. If I do that, that means that C1 is going to be minus 2 minus 1 over 3 is going to be negative 1. So putting this all together, I'm getting here that if I look at the combination C1V1 plus C2V2 plus C3V3 plus C4V4 and set that equal to 0, just to remind you here, I'm letting this be V1, I'm letting this be V2 in my example. This is what I'm defining to be V3, and this is what I'm saying is V4. So if we go all the way back here, I am saying that negative V1 plus V2 plus 0 times V3 plus, I guess, 1 times V4, should be 1 times V2, is 0, which means that negative V1 plus V2 plus V4 is 0. So we're saying that V1 is just equal to V2 plus V4, right? So we have an example of the first vector here is equal just to the sum of V2 and V4 together. You can go ahead and verify that yourself if you take V1, and you'll see it's actually equal to V2 plus V4 together. So you can check that out yourself as one possible combination. Again, I could have let C4 and C2 be any other parameters, get another combination. Again, this all shows that in the situation here, this expression is equal to 0, and we're showing that it implies that the coefficients for this to be 0 do not all have to be 0, which is your test for linear independence. So in this example, I'm finding combinations of coefficients that do not have to be 0, but the combination of these vectors make this come out to be 0. All right, let's take a look at another example like this one. So in the next example here, same idea. I have myself set P3, different combination of vectors, but we want to now see, is this linearly dependent or linearly independent? So going through the same process here, I'm going to write this in terms of its matrix. So this will be 1, 1, 1, 0. Moving on to my, call this V2, call this V1, this will be V2, this is going to be 2, negative 1, 0, 3, and then I've got V3 here, this is going to be 3, 2, 1, 3, and then I have here my V4 set here, and this can be 1, negative 2, 0, 1. All right, continuing on here, I want to go ahead and start this off. I want to make these entries 0. So I'm going to take row 2 minus row 1. I'm going to take row 3 minus row 1. And if I go ahead and do that, subtracting these rows here, I get 0, negative 3, negative 1, negative 3. I get 0, negative 2, negative 2, negative 1, and 0, 3, 3, and 1. All right, continuing on here with this, I'm going to go ahead. I want to now make this entry here a 0, and this entry here a 0. So to go ahead and do that, I'm going to have to go and take 3 times row 3 minus twice row 2. For this one here, I'm just going to take row 4 and add that to row 2. So the top row is unchanged. I can just write that down. The second row, I'm just going to go ahead and multiply across by minus 1 just to clean this up a bit. And now when I do 3 times row 3 minus twice row 2, that's going to put a 0 in that location. If I multiply this by 3, you're going to get negative 6, and then the 2 minuses become positive. So this becomes negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. Doing this again here, I'm going to end up getting, applying it to this row here, I'm going to end up getting here negative 3 plus 6 is going to be positive 3. And this next operation is easier, just adding the two rows together. So it's going to be 0, 0, 0, 2, and negative 2. All right, we're almost there. I want to go ahead and make this 0. So to make this entry 0, I have to go ahead and double row 4 and add that to row 3. So continuing on here, the top row is untouched. Second row is also untouched. Third row is untouched here. And now I'm just doubling this row and adding it to the third row. That's going to put a 0 in this spot. And this will end up being negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1. So I might as well just make that positive as I go through here. So right away we can see this is upper triangular. If I'm setting this equal to 0, this is going to have a trivial solution, unique solution. Solving this here, you can see we're going to have a unique solution just going through back substitution. If you set this equal to 0, you're going to quickly find that C1 equals C2 equals C3 equals C4 equals 0, and that is exactly the test for linear independence. So in this example here, we've now shown this is linearly independent. So this set is linearly independent. You cannot write one as a scalar multiple of the other. The only way that you're going to get this combination to come out to be 0, i.e. any multiple of this plus this plus this plus this equaling 0, must be the case that the coefficients in front are 0. So this is linearly independent. All right, let's take a look at one more example. So in the final example here, they give us a set here S consisting of these values. This is a subset of R4, and they want you to show that this is a basis for the set. And to show this is a basis, the only thing we really have to do is row reduce this. Let's go ahead and throw this in a matrix here. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 4, 8, 0, 1, 3, 7, 2, 1, 0, 1. And I want to row reduce this and solve this. So I'm going to right away, these need to be made zeros. So this is row 2 minus row 1, row 3 minus row 1, row 4 minus row 1. And go ahead and doing that, I get 1, 1, 0, 2. And subtracting this row here. Again, I'm looking to make all of these 0. Subtracting this up here, I get 0, 1, 1, negative 1, 0, 3, 3, negative 2, and 0, 7, 7, negative 1. Continuing on this fashion, I want to now make this entry here 0. So I'm going to go ahead and take row 3 minus 3 times row 2. And continuing my row reduction, so top row unchanged, second row also unchanged, and this is going to be 0, 0, 0. And this will be, the final entry will be negative 2 plus 3 is 1, and this will be 0, 7, 7, negative 1. I now want to make this entry a 0, so I'm going to take row 4 and subtract that from 7 times row 2. And continuing on here, the top row is unchanged. The second row is also unchanged. The third row is unchanged. It's going to be 0, 0, 0. And this will be negative 1 plus 7 is 6. Okay, and then right away we can see I have a 6 here. I could take the final row and multiply by 1/6, making this equal to this. Now we can see right away I have two rows exactly the same. So just by subtracting, quick subtraction, you'll see I end up getting here that the final row is all zeros all the way down. So going to solve this expression right here, we end up getting that this set is actually linearly dependent. And I can quickly see, like looking at this here, I make the observation here that the first and third rows of this here, we have here the first and third rows of this. If I add these together, I should get the third column. The first and third columns, if I add them together, I should get the second column. Let's take a look if that is the case here. So you can see here it says show this as a basis. This is not a basis at all, but if you take a look here, if this is V1, V2, V3, and V4, my row reduction is telling me that I'm getting V1 plus V3 is going to equal v2. Let's see if that's correct here. If I take v1 plus v3 and add those together, what coordinate do we get? Well, if I add the first two coordinates, you get 1, 2, 4, and then lastly 8. And that is true. We can see right from here, if you go ahead and take v1 and v2, you add those together, I get this coordinate, which is exactly our, if I end up taking v1 and v3, add them together, I end up getting this expression, which is exactly our v2. So you can see that right from the matrix will tell you this as well. All right, I'm going to end this here. Originally, the question did ask this, show it's a basis for R4. It's not a basis for R4. The set is linearly dependent. You need to be linearly independent to be a basis. So right away here, this set was linearly dependent, and this is one combination that shows the dependence. All right, that's it for today's lesson here, just going through some examples of linear independence and dependence. Thank you.